Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to AJ's Daily Cricket, and welcome to another different type of video today. As promised, we're going to have a range of different video series here on the channel, and one of those is going to be where we take a look at the ways in which we think we can help to spread the word of the game of cricket, help to improve it, help to develop it, help to get it in front of as many people as possible so they can watch it and take part of it and do anything we really can just to spread the love of the game. And so for the first of those videos, we're gonna touch on something that's actually very close to my own heart, and that is the game of Test match cricket. And we're gonna see how we can protect and improve the game as the ultimate form of cricket. I think despite all the rise of all the new formats, with a load more still to come with the 100 and 3-team cricket, etc., but I think players, purists and cricket lovers in general all still seem to agree that there really is no harder task in the game than winning a Test match series, especially away from home soil. And I for one adore the game, and so I want to see it not only survive in the future but absolutely thrive. There really is nothing like the excitement of the first morning of a game, the tactics, the toss, the team selection, all of that sort of stuff. I love it, and I certainly want to enjoy that and share it with my son for many decades to come. However, it really is impossible to deny that currently in many parts of the cricketing world, the interest and appetite for the Test match game has diminished almost beyond recognition. The sight of matches between top tier nations being played in empty stadiums is a pretty common one these days, and that's something that's obviously completely unsustainable. So I think it's clear to us all that some things have got to be done to get people watching and engrossed in the Test match game again. And so for my part here on AJ's Daily Cricket, I've put together a short list of suggestions for improvements that could potentially be made to help the game of Test match cricket in the future. Some of them are evolutionary, others more revolutionary, but each one is designed to achieve three things really. Firstly, that's to create a fairer, more dynamic contest between bat and ball. Secondly, that's to increase the levels of excitement for supporters, that's both at the game and watching at home on TV or any other media device. And thirdly is to ensure that Test match cricket remains the toughest and most rewarding form of the game. So that's what each of the suggestions are aimed at. And firstly, I think we're going to take a look at, right at the start of a game, we're going to take a look at the toss. It's been argued for a very long time now that the toss seems to have too big an impact, if you like, on deciding the result of the game, especially making it especially hard for teams to win when they're away from home. So I think potentially you could look at the toss and implement ways to make it a fairer thing and make it something that doesn't have such an influence on the results of the game. So firstly, for example, my suggestion would be that the toss would continue as normal, and the winning captain would choose whether he wants to bat or bowl, whether he or she wants to bat or bowl. But then the losing captain can then decide if they want to make a substitution from their starting 11 and introduce their 12th man to their team. I think that would allow captains to, losing captains or captains that have lost the toss, to potentially introduce a player that will help them in the game at the back end of the game. If they know they're going to be batting on a day 5 pitch, they could look to bring in an additional batsman, or alternatively, if they'll be bowling on the last day or certainly in the 4th innings, then perhaps they can look at bringing in another bowling option. I think that would potentially limit, shall we say, the effect of the toss in deciding the result, and it will also widen up that match day experience to a greater number of players and give them an increased opportunity to be involved in the game. So I think that's something that could be looked at, introducing that substitution or potential substitution of the 12th man should the captain who's lost the toss wish. Or alternatively, I think when it comes to the toss, perhaps we could look at introducing a skill-based element to it. So at least that the captain that wins the right to choose whether to bat or bowl, he or his team has had to perform a skill and beat the opposition. So whether that's a bowl off, for example, they've certainly been used to decide matches in the past, but perhaps they could be used to decide which captain gets to, or which team gets to choose whether to bat or bowl. It could be other skill-based elements like catching, for example, or anything really along those lines to really help, as I say, introduce a skill element, limit the impact of the toss in a certain way, and in this instance, get people really excited in the initial stages of a test match. Really get them on their seats or in front of their TV right before the game even starts, and get them engaged in the experience. I think that's where potentially the game could be made a lot more engaging right from the outset. Now, when it comes to the match itself, I think it's clear we need to increase the excitement that's on show to the fans, and to do that, I feel we need to look at rewarding higher run rates. We all want to see more shots played and more boundaries hit, so I think we need to make the reward of taking those risks to increase the run rate more worth it. And one way you could do that, I think, is looking at the availability of the second new ball. So, for example, if the team batting first in the first innings of a test match, if they score at more than, say, 3.75 runs and over in their innings, then when it comes their turn to bowl in the second innings of the game, the new ball is made available to them after 70 overs rather than 80. I think we all know the benefit of the second new ball. It swings more and it seams more, so it really is an attractive commodity for a team to have available to them as soon as possible when they're bowling. So I think it could be something that could be used to really get teams thinking about, I've got to score at a higher run rate, I've got to play more shots, take more singles, run harder between the wickets, so that I know that I'm getting that new ball for my bowlers 10 overs earlier in the next innings. If we could use a similar format as well, looking at instead of introducing the availability of the second new ball as the reward, perhaps introducing an additional DRS review could actually be the reward that is used. So again, using the same formula, if a team scores at 3.75 runs or more and over in their innings, when it comes to the next innings when they're bowling, they have an extra DRS review available to them. We all know how important DRS is proving to be in the modern game, and so I think that is really something that could really force batsmen and force teams to think about how they can increase their run rate and also offer a greater level of excitement. Young people are who we want to get involved in cricket. I think a lot of them are brought up on a diet of computer games that have missions and sub-missions within them. All of them got to be completed alongside different objectives, etc. So I think having that extra element to the game of run rate incentives is something that they'll understand and really engage with. And also, on the note of increasing excitement and run rates, I think moving on to the next point here, I think introducing free hits for no balls seems like a very easy way to achieve that increased excitement and bumping up the run rate of a given innings. Everyone understands how free hits for no balls work these days, so I think it could be rolled out very, very easily and help break up the slower parts of the day, give the crowd sort of something to get excited about, perhaps during, as I say, where the game isn't quite progressing as quickly as it might, and it will also, as I say, serve to fully punish no balls, which I think everyone wants to see really at the elite level. And in the spirit, again, moving on to the next point of increasing excitement, giving people value for money, supporters in the ground and those watching at home, I think we've really got to look at penalising slow over rates and penalising them pretty hard, to be honest with you. I think everybody gets frustrated when they watch cricket with sort of seemingly endless drinks breaks and breaks in play for physios running on new gloves, new boots, all of that sort of stuff, and it just takes away from the excitement of the game and offers really poor value for money. So again, I would look to penalise those, and in my example here, I would say that it's reasonable that if a team goes at less than or performs at less than 13 overs per hour in any given session, then at the end of that session, immediately a 20-run penalty is applied against them. I think that will be the most effective way to go about it, because it's an immediate punishment, so it'll have an impact on the match then and there, and will be much more of a deterrent to captains than a punishment that might be dished out after the game. So I think that will be the biggest deterrent really for captains, and really encourage them to keep an eye on their over rates, make sure they're offering as much value for money as possible, and providing a truly exciting and engaging spectacle. And the last point I want to look at today concerns day-night cricket, and the fact that I think the authority should continue with the experiment for a little while longer. I think the cricket we've seen so far has shown us that the ball is now behaving properly. It's now visible enough to batsmen and fielders alike to make day-night test matches a true test match and a truly valid contest at the elite level. I think as I say, I think it looks great under lights. It allows greater accessibility for people to get to the ground after a game, or get home from a day at work and be able to watch some live cricket. I know early renditions of the game down in Australia and some of those that have taken place in England have produced really exciting matches, and I think that's great. I really do. So I think it deserves being persevered with, so we can try and see whether it's going to have an impact for the long term. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you agree with some of those suggestions, and if you don't, or you've got any of your own, definitely let me know in the comments below, and maybe we'll do a follow-up video and we'll have a look at some of your suggestions as well. But for today, that's it. I'd just like to say subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, and that'll help us grow the channel. We'd appreciate that. But take care of yourselves, and until next time, go well.